Alright, so it's been officially announced in-game that the Lady Rain's Case Files event is coming to the NA version of the game, and so I thought I'd do my little event guide for this. Kind of walk you guys through on what you can expect in this event as someone who's played through this event twice on JP. Now, this event, if nothing else, is like really good for getting Gray. Again, a very solid, assassin, free-to-play assassin, because, I mean, there's not too many superb assassins in the game. So if nothing else, I recommend farming this event, but there's a lot of like fun things to do in the event. I mean, okay, ignore the missions, right? This is never fun. This always sucks. As like, we just made it through Oku, and we made it through the Seraph rerun event. Doing these mission-based story like events or whatever are not very fun. They're always like really annoying. I mean, we even have Gouda 3 right now that's also mission-based. It's just very stressful because it prevents you from doing it last minute. Because usually a lot of these quests you have to do like by tackling it since the event starts, and you want to go like little by little. But there's some things where it's like get the servant fully ascended, get them to like bond 5, like kill like 20 billion of this type of enemy. And it's like, all of that stuff is very easy if you're tackling it long term over the course of the event. But if you're trying to do it all in one day, it can be very stressful. So just make sure that you're doing these missions just a little bit every day. You're doing a little bit of progress here and there, at least burning some of your daily AP, and you should be fine. But what I find really fun about this event is that we actually get these memorial and challenge quests, right? Where you kind of get to go back and fight some of the previous bosses from previous events, because that's kind of the whole point of the event, is that we're like going through like different periods in like FGO, and we even get like some what if scenarios as well. Like we get to fight a Benkei that's like Tiamat's little assistant instead of Ushi, like so it's corrupted Benkei instead of corrupted Ushi. You get a lot of cool stuff like that, but a lot of these don't look like they're very, very hard. Like this one shouldn't be too hard at all. This one shouldn't be too hard. There was only like this one maybe might give you a little bit of trouble if you're a bit of like a newer player, because Altera just has so much HP and she's swapping between types. But I mean, again, should be fine. You can bring like a friend like Ku Alter or something and just body this quest, right? Like this is not going to be very hard. This is not going to be very hard. That's Raiko, by the way. I know it has like all the Orions and everything, but that's Raiko, by the way. So not very hard. This one's very easy. Like this this one's laughably easy. It's almost like just bring a friend Raiko or your own Raiko, and then anything you can to support it, and you'll probably just bop all of them in like 1 to 2 NPs. It's not gonna be that hard. This is very easy. This is one where I was like, this might actually start to give people trouble, because she's a ruler, and being a ruler, it's going to be a bit difficult for people that don't have like very powerful Avenger type characters. But for those of you that guys that like have, say, like Jalter, or you have Lobo, you have Gorgon, someone like that, you're going to cakewalk this pretty fine. If your account is a bit newer and you don't have any of these Avengers, Berserkers will work fine. You might just want to go ahead and bring someone like Ku Alter as your friend and kind of just try to work on maybe soloing it or trying to support him as much as possible. Remember, if you are a newer player, you can still bring, like, say, your own Leonidas, your own George, and then your own Mash to kind of give that friend servant that you're going to solo with extra turns by having them be taunt walls, right? So make sure you're doing that if you're, like, more free to play or your account is newer and you can't beat some of these and you want to go that solo route. Make sure you're bringing taunters. You're not just bringing, like Shakespeare and Hans like at level 1, because they're not going to do anything, but at least a Leonidas at level 1 can still buy you a free turn. George at level 1 can buy you a free turn. So make sure you're doing that. But for most players, this is not going to be hard. This one, like, I would have said this could have been a bit harder, but the Ketz doesn't use her NP, so it's probably just going to be a wash as well. Now, there is a Setsuban one. Yeah, it's this one right here. This one could be difficult. This is the one that I'm going to see most players having trouble with, because it's like Setsuban, where you can only use your own servants. You cannot bring a friend servant, which means no double Merlin, no double Scotty, no double Tamamo. You need to be able to build like a very decent party on your own. Now, for those, again, long-term players that maybe have like Waver and Merlin, Waver and Tamamo, Waver and like Hans, Waver and Caskill, you have so many different combinations you can rely upon. It's really not going to be that much of a problem. And you're going to see them being berserkers as being an easy thing, because then that means I can just bring whatever AoE I want. Like, I could just bring Gil and just start popping cheeks everywhere, and I'm just going to be absolutely fine. But if you're a newer player and you don't have very many units leveled up, your best bet is might just be trying to go with someone like Ku, or someone that can really sustain and kind of last long in these events. You can still build like a fairly like a decent free-to-play team. Like, remember, there's characters like Shakespeare, like Hans, that are very low rarity. There's people like Amadeus that are very, very good as your budget casters. Remember, Amadeus drops 50 stars and has a party-wide arts buff. Shakespeare can charge one person's NP by 20% and give an AoE buster buff. Hans is basically like a baby waiver. If you are a newer player, go ahead and level up those servants. They will really help you out in matches like this, where you can't bring a friend support caster that you don't have, or just try to solo it with a friend servant. So make sure you do that, right? And then this one's not very hard. This one's just funny to me because you get to fight Mini Ku, and I love seeing Mini Ku everywhere. So it's just a funny one to me. But it's not gonna be all that hard. Again, 2 enemies. Just bring like an AoE archer. Bring Gil. Bring what's his name? Napoleon will work very well because Ku has divinity. I think, does Tesla? Hold on. Does Maeve? Does she have the Earth and Sky trait? And does Ku have Earth and Sky? Does she Earth and Sky? And then, wait, is he not? They took divinity off of him, bro. Okay, never mind. So, I mean, Tesla will work better than Napoleon in that one. Anyway, the challenge quest also, this could maybe be a little difficult, but literally, like, if you read both of these passives, it's literally telling you just kill Alexander first. If you attack Waver, he has high damage reduction, he lowers your defense, and he gets higher defense whenever he takes damage. So just bring like King Hassan, bring, I don't know, your Shiki if you've been playing the game for a few years and you have your NP5 Shiki. Bring, I don't know, Kojiro, bring your Izo. Just bring somebody to obliterate Alexander. Just burn him down really quickly. And then you can move in and just mop up Waver, because Waver's not going to be too hard of a boss to kill itself, because like his NP's non-damaging. So really the biggest threat you have with Waver is the fact that he can crit buff himself, and he might do some big crit. But I mean, just bring like an assassin to kill Alexander pretty quickly, have like a rider in your backline to then swap out and then have him kill El Malloy, or just bring a berserker, bring a Ku altar, bring somebody to just like kill Alexander quickly, and then they can kill El Malloy right afterwards. It's really not that big of a deal. It's really not all that hard. While it's fun to be able to like do a lot of these missions, they're not going to be super hard. I don't feel like going super in depth for a lot of these, because like this, it's like, come on, like seriously, just bring Jalter. She obliterates this in like 2 turns. Well, I guess it has to literally be 3 turns minimum, but you know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, easy. This, come on, like, get real. That's not hard at all whatsoever. This, I mean, she's a little beefy, but not all that hard, right? It's not going to be super difficult. And then obviously the main quest is just, you know, you're doing missions the whole time. It's not like super difficult or anything. I did want to talk about some of the CEs, because I do think, where's the event CE? Hold on, let me find it. Yeah, this, I was looking at it and I was trying to see if there's like any real use you can maybe get from it, and it just seems like you're just not going to use it. I don't know, like, it just doesn't seem like something you're gonna get a whole lot of use out, because I like the arts performance, I like the NP gen. The 4 stars is nice because it's going to be on an art servant who don't naturally gen stars, and it's a full attack CE as well, so that's really good, because the split CEs I don't like it when they split the attack and HP, because I want to get the best of one, right, rather than just getting a little bit of either, right? But maybe if it was like, dude, if it was like 20% arts and 20% NP gen, 5 stars a turn, that would have been absolutely like, that would have been beautiful for things like challenge quests, to just slap on an art servant to really give him that like nice buff for the entire fight. It's just supremely, because that's a 1/5 increase to their arts and NP gen. Like, that's really good. And then 5 stars is also nice as a supplementary thing you're getting. But other than that, I don't think you're going to be using this outside of the event, so just limit break it as soon as you can. This I think is really good, actually. I think this command code for the event, I think you should really strive to get this one, because this is going to be very powerful in a Brave Chain as the lead card. So say you're doing a Buster Brave Chain, and most people, if you didn't know, most people lead off with their NP and then the 2 cards, and then the extra attack. But you actually get more damage if you lead off with the Buster Face card, then the NP, then your following card, then the extra attack, right? So if you put this on the card that you're going to be using as a lead, so say like a Buster card on a Buster Servant, this is not only going to just function better for your overall damage, but it's going to buff the NP that follows it right afterwards, and that's really good. I would recommend putting this on a servant that does not have an NP damage buff already, because the more different buff types you can put on one servant, the more buffs that are actually multiplying into each other. When, say you have like a charisma, and then like say I have Gil's charisma, right? He uses charisma and I have Artoria next to him, and she uses charisma as well. Those attack buffs just add into each other. But say I have Gilgamesh next to Iskandar. Gilgamesh uses charisma and Iskandar uses tactics to give that NP damage buff. Those 2 different buff types now multiply into each other to give a bigger buff. So I would give this to somebody that does not have an NP damage buff already, because it's going to be very, very good for them. Remember, 15%, that's about as much as like the tactic skills do tend to give. Tactics tends to be anywhere from like 10 to 15% anyway. So this is going to be really, really good for those types of servants and really buffing their damage. This I think is really stinky. It's a buff against undead enemies, but I mean, it's not like undead enemies are super uncommon. We fight zombies, we fight like those weird Salem ghoulish enemies fairly often. They're like typically in every event, but it's not something that I think is going to be like super game breaking, super good. This I actually think is really good as well, because it's giving any Buster card that you slap it on 15 additional crit damage, and you want to do big Buster crits anyway, so this is just really good. These I think are really, really good. I think it's definitely worth making sure you go through the missions to do these events. Actually, no, these you get from the challenge quest, I believe. And let me double check. Yeah, this one you get from doing this one, and then there is no, not that one. Where's the Da Vinci one? Okay, the Da Vinci one you get from this one, yeah. But like, so it's not even, you don't even have to beat the event necessarily. You can just come do these memorial quests and get those, and I think they're really, really good. I would recommend everybody to really just make sure you get these. This one, you can get some use out of it. It might be something you just slap on somebody, right? Just be like they have it and be like, oh, there's ghouly berserker enemies on this node. I put my intangible case command code on my Artoria, so now I'm gonna bring her, hooray, and do a little bit of extra damage. But whatever, like, it's not super insane. Finally, let's talk about like the events bonus servants in the summoning campaign. So obviously these 2 are going to be bonus. If you can level up your Gray immediately, that's going to be super useful, because she's an AoE servant. She's getting 100% extra damage. She's going to be very, very good in this event. Reigns, you can pretty much just leave at like level 70 for the event, because she is a support unit, so you don't need to like fully level her up for the event, so don't stress out about that if you pull for her. Estrella is going to be fine in the event as well, especially with the 100% damage buff. She's like an arts looping servant, single target, can be really good for some of the like big boy enemies that you fight in the event. I think the list of event, but by the way, I think this is really disrespectful. I don't know why they did it like this, where they're just like, yeah, these are like the featured servant, and these are the other servants. These guys suck, and I'm just like, why are you gonna slap them down there? They're still getting 30% damage, but there are a lot of very good, useful servants here. Salter should be a servant that a lot of people have, because Salter has just been around since the dawn of the game. She's been around on quite a few banners over the game's lifespan. So if you have Salter, going to be very good as an AoE farmer. Iskandar going to be very good. Alexander, I forgot his name, dude. His name is literally right here, and I forgot his name. I can't read or something. But Alexander's an AoE a quick rider, so he's going to be very good for a lot of farming nodes, especially with that 50% damage buff. Going to be very solid. I think he has 1 hit on his NP, so I think he struggles with looping. Let me double check that for you guys. He does indeed have 1 hit on his NP, so yeah, that is a bit unfortunate, but he's going to do very, very decent damage, and his kit is very well tailored to buffing the party. So he's going to be giving everybody quick performance, and he's going to be giving an attack buff, so he's going to be very good as like maybe a wave 1 or wave 2 clear in this event. And then you kind of buffs up for someone like, I don't know, like Lancelot or Atalanta. I don't know, whoever else you're going to be using in your quick farming team, right? Maybe you're going to be doing just some really scuffed farming team where you're using just a bunch of these random event bonus servants. Babbage really does benefit from the event damage bonus on this event as well. Babbage is actually very, very good as an AoE caster. If you have him leveled up, make sure you pull him out for this event. He'll do some work. Da Vinci's going to be very good. These are like kind of your notable like AoE servants to use. Lancer Alter, right now on global is still fine. She does a lot of damage, so she'll be very good as like an AoE farmer. You know, she's AoE. A lot of people, you should have Shakespeare leveled up. He's like a baby Merlin. You can use him as like a wave 1 or wave 2 clear. With a 30% damage bonus, maybe, but Shakespeare has very low damage. So you might just want to use him as, don't push him past a wave 2 clear, right? Like, don't push your luck. Also, he's a buster unit, so he's not going to be looping his NP or anything. Which is a shame, because I actually think he has, like, what, like 5 hits on his NP or something? I think he had decent hits. Oh, he has 4. I was close. I was very close. But, let's see. Kentoki's going to be very notable. Even though he's not AoE, I think he is notable because he has a 50% battery and he does big Unga Zunga single target damage. Everybody should have Paul Bunyan leveled up. Paul Bunyan's very, very good. She brings a lot of very powerful effects to the team. Very good for farming. Make sure you bring her out for this event and make use of that damage bonus. And then Salieri is obviously pretty good as well, so make sure you use him. Now, who is going on rate up? We have Reigns. Obviously, I think a lot of people are going to be summoning for Reigns. She's basically female waiver. I'll do a video on her probably tomorrow or something. Well, I'll probably do the waiver banner first, then we'll do Reigns after. But you get what I'm saying. There'll be a video on Reigns coming up soon. Babbage, who cares about Babbage? But Emiya Assassin's going on rate up. He's a very solid single target assassin, arts AoE, or not arts AoE, but arts single target assassin. The problem is that we have people like Shiki. Shiki was free for a lot of players. She's already had a rerun, so people that failed to get her when she first came out did have a chance to get her, like, I think it was last year when they did the rerun for the event, unless I'm just being stupid. But irregardless, you're probably just going to use Shiki anyway because you have her at, like, NP5, and she's got a battery. She's got, like, everything she needs. Dodge, arts buff, all that good stuff, can insta-kill people. So you're probably not going to use Emiya Assassin, but Emiya Assassin is a very good niche with this skill right here, the Scapegoat one, where he has the ability to, like, taunt allies and kind of, like, funnel enemies out of the party, right? So say you're in a challenge quest and you're trying to cycle out of your enemies and you're out of your plug suit, or you've already used your plug suit, or you didn't bring it, then you can have Emiya Assassin be like, kill this teammate real quick for me, right? Or you can have Emiya Assassin even come in here, use this skill to drop the stars, and maybe like shoot somebody with his NP, and then have himself get yeeted out of there. So there's a lot of utility. I really like that he has that skill. I think it's really good, but worth summoning for, I don't think necessarily. Now, Estrella is very, very good. This is a servant that I'm definitely going to need to be talking about when I start covering the servants from this event. Estrella is very, very good. Now, just ignore the art. The art's a little odd, but if we look at her sprite's fine. It's literally just like a cute outfit Luvia, right? Like, it's fine. It's pretty good. But she's going to be very, very good. I would almost recommend summoning on the banner because the Reigns, and I'm just going to call her Luvia, the Reigns-Luvia combo is very, very good. Not only just running them together, but actually being able to just have both of them in your Chaldea is going to be very, very strong. Rulers aren't necessarily a very common class, right? So if like we look at rulers, you know, Jean is definitely a lot better, but she needs some work. Amakusa Shiro is super, super good, but he's not easy to get. He's a more limited servant. So if you don't have him and have him fully buffed up, then you're kind of tits out of luck for that one. Martha Ruler needs so many buffs to be good. Sherlock, very good for like crit support, but he's not like a primary DPS person. He's kind of like, I support people and try to make everybody do big crit damage. Chi Wong is a solo type servant. He really doesn't want to be on a team with other people. You can do it, but he doesn't want to be with them. Again, also a more limited servant. Quetzalcoatl Samba is a AoE servant, so she's very good free to play unit, but she's not single target, right? So getting a single target ruler is a bit hard. And then these people aren't even out yet, but then it's like you're AoE, you're support, and you're also you're AoE, right? I'm already forgetting, dude. I got shafted so hard on that banner, I just deleted all information of Karen out of my brain, dude. Okay, yeah, she is AoE, I was right. But that makes Estrella very valuable in one, that rulers themselves are already kind of a limited class. Two, the only other like single target ruler is Martha Ruler, and she's not very good. So that makes Estrella very, very valuable. And we know, because we have Clairvoyance EX, that she's an art servant. And who's coming out in like a year and a half now? Who's gonna make those art servants really good? Is there any guesses? Anybody in the crowd wanna let me know who's gonna be coming out and gonna be making all these art servants gods? Oh yeah, Castoria, yeah. So her being an art servant, we know that's gonna be really good later on down the line. It's gonna be good now because Tamamo and Waver, I think, do very good work as like an arts team, and then you have like a primary DPS. But then once Castoria comes out, she just elevates them to the moon. So with all that being said, let me know in the comments down below if you guys are hyped for this event, if you guys are looking forward to this, if you're going to be summoning for Reigns. Let me know all that in the comments down below. Also, let me know if you guys are going to be summoning for Reigns or you're going to be summoning for Waver, right? Because that's kind of the duality right now, that we have Waver going up on Raid Up, and then we have Reigns going up right after that, and they're both super insane supports. If you don't have either of them, it's like a must summon right now, and it's about to get really stressful over here on the NA version of the game, because we got Waver, we got Reigns, we got Mom Nobu, who's not exactly the best servant, but she's very popular and people want her. Then we have Arjuna Alter, then we have all the summer servants, the summer reruns. It's going to be a hectic rest of the year, so I'm going to be here covering all that. So, make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see that stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, you guys.